Welcome to toy-polloi. No Legos were harmed in the making of this video.
Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi, and today it's going to be a bit of a quick fix showing you how to reattach the arm on this vintage Masters of the Universe Extendar figure. Now this is a figure I've not had before, but I was recently given a whole load of Masters of the Universe figures by Bass, and in there was this Extendar, and a lot of people saw him and said to me, can I work out a fix for the arms because they're so often broken off? And I thought, well, it should be a fairly straightforward thing to do, so I put that high up on my list of projects. And so here he is. Now you'll see this figure, he's quite an interesting figure. He has all these sort of extendable bits on him. You can pull parts of him out and his arms sort of extend and his legs extend, so he can get really very tall. It's a quite intriguing sort of idea for a toy, but he has one problem, and that is the plastic that he's been made of, this sort of pearlescent plastic, suffers with a similar problem to plastics that have gold plastic syndrome, in the fact that this plastic gets quite brittle, and the way his arm is held on, there's a small sort of tab inside that is very easily snapped off, and that happens pretty much on every single one of these you'll see. So it's a common problem, and only going to get more common as this plastic gets older and degrades. But it's a very simple fix, and I've shown something quite similar before on a recent video on how to reattach the legs on a vintage Kenner large-scale Chewbacca figure using grommets, and we're going to use exactly the same technique to repair this arm here. I have already done a little bit of prep work on this figure just to tidy up where this had broken. The hole on the body actually doesn't need any work doing to it. That is exactly as this figure arrived. The peg on the arm is only attached on this back section actually, and the front doesn't join at all. So all I've done is I've taken a Dremel and I've Dremeled away the remains of the broken peg that was on there. So we end up with a hole that's pretty much the same size as the hole on the body. You will have to Dremel out a little bit from inside. It's quite a straightforward thing to do, and I'm not going to bother showing you how I did it here, but if you use a Dremel with a sort of pointy attachment, you can actually sort of scrape out all of the inside of that, and you're left with two holes that are roughly the same size. There is still the original bit of plastic that held the arm on inside this body. I'm not going to try and get that out because I think I would end up breaking part of it, and you hear it rattling, but it doesn't cause any issues. Now to attach this you will need a grommet, and the grommets are measured actually in the diameter of the hole they go in, so you'll see that this grommet is bigger than the hole, but if you look at the middle part, that middle piece is 10mm across, and this hole is 10mm across. There are many types of grommets, and I've actually bought a couple to try and fix this, and I bought the wrong ones the first time around. These were the ones I bought originally, and you can see that the gap in the middle is about 1.5mm. That's too small. You can buy these larger ones and they are 2.5mm in the middle, and that's the size you need. So this grommet is a 10mm diameter hole grommet with a 2.5mm depth. Just look on eBay, there are quite a few people selling these, and so once we've got this, all you have to do is insert it into the shoulder hole, you can see like that. And you can see that there's now a piece of plastic very firmly embedded in there. It's actually quite hard to get out, but there is a bit of a lip left, and we can then stick that into the arm. Getting this into the arm, a little bit tricky. You'll need a pair of tweezers or something like that, but all you have to do is sort of gently push it into the arm and work your way around. Takes a little bit of practice and not the easiest of things to do on camera, but it can be done. I will just do this one now. It might take a little bit of speeding up of the footage, but you'll see exactly what I do, and we'll get this stuck into his arm, and then his arm will be reattached. So let's go for it. And there we go. It's as simple as that. Basically push it in with a pair of tweezers or something, and now his arm is attached, and you can rotate it around. If you give it some force, it will fall off, but this is going to be a display figure, and it's going to work really quite well. You can see we can now move that around and pose him, and he poses very nicely. It's not the strongest of fixes, as I say, because you've basically just held it on with a piece of rubber, but it means this figure can be displayed, and that's really what's important. And here you can see the finished figure back together. This figure actually needs a bit more work doing, which I may cover in a future video. At some point someone has repainted all of the gold on him quite badly, so it's quite thickly applied. He also shouldn't have any paint on his thighs, so I do need to do more work on him. But for the moment he is at least displayable, and that's really what was important to me here. So as I say, what you need is some 10mm grommets with a 2.5mm depth to them. I picked these up off eBay. They are a few pounds for a pack of 5. The ones I got that were wrong, I will probably use for another project, because they're always useful to have these sorts of things in there. Very good way of reattaching limbs. So I need to say a big thank you to Bass for very kindly sending this figure over. It's always fun to work out ways of fixing old toys like this. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to be notified each time I upload a new video. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching toy-polloi. Subscribe for more great videos. You can also follow toy-polloi on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.